Good morning, everyone. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So excited. It's Wednesday and it is go time. We got Friday 2-minute drills, episode 2 coming out. We have training on the negotiation, abundant negotiation. So excited. That's all I got to say. Let's get the questions rolling. Let's get the guests coming on. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome week so far. Absolutely. Did you have any hobbies growing up? I collected bottle caps. I know it's a weird hobby, but that's what it was. And baseball cards as well. What do you think of new app Clubhouse? It is on fire, and we're going to be doing a lot on Clubhouse. We're going to be integrating office hours and 2-minute drill and the playbook and everything we can on Clubhouse. You know me, I'm a big verbal guy, so really love Clubhouse. And check me out tonight, Matt Higgins, I think 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Matt Higgins, the Executive VP of RSC, or I think President of RSC, but owner of the Dolphins with Mr. Ross and RSC Ventures, just incredible entrepreneur. One of my best friends that is amazing. And also an Ellis Island Medal of Honor winner. Amazing guy. Anyway, check us out on Clubhouse tonight, 5 p.m. What's the most common mistake entrepreneurs make? Quitting, right? And usually right before they're about to break through. That's the most common mistake that they make. They don't realize that staying in business is the number one priority. And the number 2 thing is they don't ask for help. So make sure you ask for help. Hi, Laura. I see you there. How do you set expectations with your clients? Managing and developing expectations with my clients, usually utilizing a go, no, go plan. If anybody wants the go, no, go plan, Team David Meltzer, eventually get on here. They will pin up there, david@dmeltzer.com, 949-298-2905. Just go on your app store, download Clubhouse if you haven't found it yet. It's an app and it's all audio. And it's really fun. You'll really like it. Check it out. Follow me, David Meltzer, on there. And we'll get it going. Good questions. Moving along here. Favorite athletes of all time. In sports, favorite athletes of all time. Tony Gwynn, Walter Payton, Jim Brown, Dan Fouts. I got so many. Of all time. Wayne Gretzky, of course, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, just enormous amount of great athletes. Pre, I'm a big fan of Pre. So I know I'm missing a ton. Clemente, one of my favorites ever, Roberto Clemente. Is human trafficking going to be worth getting into in 2021? I'm not even sure what that means. Okay. How to turn a bad habit into a good one. You got to stick to it. Enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. What we have to do, I like to bifurcate the two. And one is stop, make a habit of not doing something. And then, of course, we're always creating new habits. So they're not mutually exclusive. I mean, they are mutually exclusive. They're not relying upon one another. So stay very refocused on one, creating a new habit to stop a habit. And then, of course, creating a new habit, which we should be doing at all times. Very good. Keep it. How do you sell paintings in a place where few people understand the value? Well, I think you found your separation there. Your own problem is that you want to put your paintings where people are and are willing, right? It takes as much energy to change one closed mind as it does 1,000 open ones. So surround yourself in areas where open-minded people to your art would be and increase your statistical success by 1,000 times. Math works in these situations. Does Signal beats WhatsApp? Signal beats WhatsApp. I don't know. I haven't used Signal. So I use WhatsApp. It seems to work pretty well. Do you know the 99 in Auntie Shelley 99 is in honor of Wayne Gretzky? I did not know that, but that makes me love Auntie Shelley even more, my vegan queen. She's amazing. Alrighty, Marlionaire, I love that. Seeking funds for a project with no physical product yet to show. Advice. Well, you need to make sure that you're building a executive summary or business plan that can exceed the value in what you're asking for. Trying to bootstrap an idea before you have a physical product is usually the best realm in which to facilitate that. But go ahead, email me. I got a few other ideas in detail, but I would create an executive summary business plan and bootstrap until you have a mock-up or something that you physically could show people. It's very difficult for them to, whether it's family or friends, to invest in an idea. So there's a million great ideas out there. Taking it to market, marketing it, making money from it. Those are all things that people want to look at. But david@dmeltzer.com. If you want to go no-go plan, david@dmeltzer.com. If you want to check out my training, david@dmeltzer.com. If you want books, guides, exercises for free, david@dmeltzer.com. I'll sign a book, send it to you, ship it to you. I'll send you the exercises, guides. You can catch all of my trainings as well as the playbook. The playbook is my podcast. It's on Spotify, Entrepreneur featured there, as well as every platform. Check it out, share it, like it, the playbook. What's up, my man? How are you doing? I'm doing well. Alrighty. Did I miss our friend here, Murray? I guess so. So, there he is. All right. All you gotta do is ask, see? And the founder of Mind Travel, the immersive meditative journey. There he goes. The deep thinkers. How are you?
Hey, David. Great to be here with you.
Really nice to have you. I'm so interested in mind traveling and what you're doing as the founder there. So give me a little bit of insight. Is it a type of astral projection? What exactly is mind travel?
Well, as a pianist, and you see my piano right here behind me.
I love it.
So as a pianist, I create these musical journeys that we do, prior to COVID, I was doing in big theaters and in outdoor spaces like Santa Monica Beach in Los Angeles and Central Park in New York, where hundreds and hundreds of us gather. And I take people on this musical journey to really kind of go within and just create some space for reflection, to just kind of process what's going on with our lives. We're so busy that we make very little time for just simple reflection, contemplation, processing emotions, and just figuring out kind of what we want in life.
One of the things that I've learned through that sort of mind travel is frequency. Vibration itself and frequency have been utilized in this manner for and with music. My grandfather himself was a jazz pianist. He was the piano player for Benny Goodman way back in the big band era.
Wow.
So I was surrounded with the piano. Unfortunately, my grandfather didn't let any of his children or grandchildren play instruments because he dropped out of dental school to join Benny Goodman's band, and he never finished graduate school. So education, he was always afraid that everybody would join a band and leave. But back to the point, this idea of frequency is really important to me. And I think what you do illustrates how a vibration or a frequency can elevate our awareness. And you talk about separation or this journey, but what I see is an awareness of, what exists in between the matter, what exists in things that we can't perceive with our conscious. What is it about music for someone who has probably played it every day of their life almost that elevates our frequency to raise our awareness?
So you're spot on. I mean, if we take a big picture look, the whole universe at every level is an infinite spectrum of frequencies, right? From the smallest subatomic level, like within us, the trillions of cells and atoms and molecules are all vibrating at incredible rates. And the grandest scale, if we look at the discovery of gravitational waves, which we proved only a few years ago based on a theory from Einstein 100 years ago, but we created the apparatus to actually, physicists were actually able to prove it and detect it. These are undulations, kind of movements in space-time that we were able to detect across billions of years. So all that is frequency. I think one of them that they actually measured was in the key of C, traveling through space at the key of C, right? And so the whole universe is musical, and we can really take incredible lessons from music. And of course, music is a series of frequencies. And of course, we can think of music as melodies and harmonies, I use something called binaural beats in the music that I create, that I compose. And binaural beats are an incredible acoustic technology. Our brains are electric organs, right? We have electricity running through our bodies and our brains, and they emit low energy frequencies called brainwaves. And we've all heard of them, and they have specific frequency states. So for instance, when we're engaging like this, in our waking state, they're in beta frequency. When we meditate or kind of zone out or in the flow zone, we're in alpha state, a little bit kind of more relaxed. And when we're sleeping, we're in theta and delta states, depending if we're dreaming or deep sleep. And the slower we get our brain waves, right, during sleep, they slow down, and that's where the healing, the rejuvenation, the replenishing comes from, so that we can, regroup and we hit, hard the next day. It's incredibly important for athletes. It's incredibly important for everyone to have the right brainwave frequency so they can function at their optimal. And music can really adapt that. So these binaural beats actually help the brain waves kind of settle into the right frequency so that we can be at our best performance.
I mean, you're speaking my language and singing my song, no pun intended, because
Yeah.
I'm a quantum healer. I learned Theta Meditation 15 years ago in India, understanding the Theta mind state and elevating my cellular vibration in order to actually, I always say, slow things down to speed things up.
Right.
One of the things that I've been studying in the context of music is time. And there's so many interesting things through understanding the speed of sound, but how it is integrating with the speed of thought, as you started talking in this binaural beats. But because thought itself can move faster than the speed of light, and so you are talking about, and what really was interesting to me, is meditative journeys that can bend time or transcend time, that either is stimulated or a catalyst from the sound.
Right.
Because sound is moving slower than light, light's moving slower than thought, but somehow, I forget the megahertz that theta is at, it's like 4.85 or something. And as you've used binaural beats, there's some really famous songs that are at theta in its vibration, and whether it's intentional or not. A couple of John Lennon songs, a couple of Bob Marley songs, interesting enough, things that transcend time. Where does time fit into the meditative journey utilizing music?
So interestingly, time, if you think of all the different art forms, whether it's painting or sculpture or, whatever it might be, only music, right? Music only exists in time, right? We can't physically touch it. We can't, feel it. Of course, we have the instrument we can touch, but that's not the music. That's what's creating the music. And so music is a temporal art form. It only exists in time. You play it, each note transpires second by second, and then it disappears, it dissolves. So each note rises and falls, and that becomes an incredible access point, right? If we talk about whether it's meditation or just paying attention, right? When we listen to music, we're forced to pay attention to it, because otherwise it's gone, right? And so, unless we use it as background music, which, that's an unfortunate use of music. But if we're really paying attention to music, and with mind travel, the music's really intended to be, focused on, listened to. And like anything in life, right, what we pay attention to, right, is everything. And so music is this incredible metaphor for living life, because we're paying attention to it, we're in the moment with it. And the more we're in the moment and we're present with it, we can actually have a full experience. So, time is critical. And, we might say, what's the most valuable thing in life, right? Well, people might say, well, time is the most valuable thing in life. I can't make more of it, right? I only have a certain amount of it. We can buy material things, if we have a lot of money, whatever, but we can never buy more time. But even more critical than time is how we spend our time, right? The attention that we have during the time we're allotting to anything, whether it's, with our family, like we can be sitting around the dinner table, which is, an incredibly important time, but what are we doing around the dinner table, right? I mean, are we on our phones? Are we distracted? Are we, checked out? Just physically being there is not attention. It's present, you're there, but you're not attentive to the other people you love. A conversation with a friend, or just on your own, whatever you're doing, are you paying attention to it? Where is your attention? So that's even almost in a way more important than time. It's how we spend our time, where our attention is during that time. And music gives you access to that.
No doubt about it. And it is a technology. It's a math. In fact, it's aligned completely with what I call the mathematical equation of luck, which is what we pay attention to and
That's right.
give intention to, right? Because you were talking about not only paying attention, but the intention that music gives us of how we're sitting around a dinner table or how we're looking at art or listening, etc. So attention plus intention equals the coincidences that we want in our lives, which is why the healing source of music, even though, you know, it may not be the greatest intention to use music as a background, but utilizing it to set an atmosphere of healing or education. You know, the Mozart effect obviously is one that has been studied and proven for the absorption of information to allow us to, I think, clear the connection to the greatest source of vibration, the greatest source of frequency, the greatest source of power that comes through us at all times. And I think people like you are truly the artists that allow us to connect. And I see that music, that meditative journey, your acknowledgement of vibration in order to really elevate our awareness to come together, which is more important than anything right now, as you know, to utilize, you know, music to help heal and to bring our own country together is so important. And you can see it in history. We've been able to use music to do that. And if you look at from national anthems to different songs from 9/11, that these are more than just songs. These are vibration frequencies of healing. And I wanted to bring you on. I want to have you back for sure. And definitely email me. I'd love to have you on my office hours show or others too, because you and I, you know, we're talking at the same frequency. Totally agree with everything you do. I'm so amazed by it. And if you haven't checked out Murray, you have to. Murray Hiduri, right? Hiduri?
Hittery,
Hittery.
Hittery
I'm the
at
name
Mind
butcher, so
Travel.
don't be offended. I'm the name butcher, but it's www.murrayhiduri.com. And you can, it's at Murray Hittery as well.
That's right.
Anywhere else can people find you?
Very easily at mindtravel.com. Super easy.
That's easy enough. Thank you so much for enlightening us. I look forward to doing more with you, Murray.
Absolutely, David. Thank you, man. Bye.
Thank you. Awesome. That guy's singing my song. He's amazing. Hopefully you enjoyed that. So sometimes I have to indulge myself and ask the questions I'm curious about when you get a genius like that aboard. Pretty incredible stuff. Mindtravel.com. Murray Hiduri. And I said it right finally. Yes, amazing combo. I agree. David at dmeltzer.com. You want to come to the abundant negotiation training on Friday for free. My book's for free, exercises guide for free, go, no go plan, pitch, competition, $50,000 of cash and prizes every Friday on 2-minute drill. Check it out on Bloomberg. Check it out. You'll love it. Here we go. I'm looking for my mentor, Sharon Lecter. Let me just check her out. I saw her in here. Thank you for your patience, my dear. This is my mentor, someone who has the great blend of the pragmatic and the spiritual, understanding, attention, and intention of financial literacy and empowerment. Rich dads, poor dads, famous author, speaker, thought leader, Sharon Lecter. I'm just waiting for you. There she comes. As always,
my dear.
I don't know what it is about you, but my heart just glows when I see you. So thank you for coming. How'd you like that conversation?
I am so delighted. Happy birthday, my friend.
Happy birthday to you. I know your birthday was yesterday. We're almost birthday twins.
Yes, yes.
It's that 112.
I think I have a few years on you, David, but that's okay.
You don't look it, but yes, I heard that you do, considering you're my mentor, and I've read everything that you've written, and you have a new book out as well. And just so excited for you, as always, to share your genius. Now, you know, what we deal with, did you get to listen to Murray beforehand?
I did. The vibrations. I love it. Yep.
Now, how does that relate to money? Because money's an energy, and I know you have such a great handle on that frequency. And so how can you relate what Murray was talking about with frequency and vibration to actual finance?
Well, money is a piece of paper with ink on it. What we assign to it is what's up here in our brain, and that's the vibration of what we've learned. And so many of us grew up in households that said we can't afford it, pinch your pennies, save for a rainy day. So we developed this mindset of scarcity. And so that controls, so many people think, well, if I just change my money habits, well, you also have to change your money mind. the mindset, because those vibrations of how you think control your actions. And we don't teach our kids about money in school, so we learned it at home. And it's so important for us to acknowledge that scarcity mindset. Once you recognize that maybe you have it, you can get rid of it and switch to an abundance mindset, because I know you agree, in this world, it's never been easier to establish a business. It's never been easier to grow a business. It's never been easier to make an impact. Successful businesses solve a problem and serve a need. We have a few, right?
Yeah, we do. But the other thing you and I agree on, and you've really helped me with, is both of us are extremely philanthropic. We put others first. And yet, you're the CEO of, Family First and understanding receiving so you can give. I used to believe I gave to receive, and it was a scarce negotiation, a concept, I think, based off of the scarcity of the depression of my grandparents, who have good intentions coming over from, this World War II and the Holocaust and things, that they felt as if you gave everything to get. And I don't think they realize that that's really not healthy, that this idea that you have of paying ourselves so that we can empower ourselves to empower others, as long as we have good intentions. And in fact, even with Exit Rich, your newest book, you have to look for your own self first. And I think people have a difficult time with that. You've advised presidents and the leaders of our countries about this, and, the worthiness that even the greatest leaders of the world that you've worked with, I'm sure, have dealt with, because I have, of my own worthiness, the guilt and the separation and anxiety that I felt from receiving, even if I had good intentions of giving it all away. Why do we have such difficulty receiving, and how should we deal with that?
It's that mental mindset of scarcity. I'm not good enough. Easy for her to say. It's that little stinking thinking, I call it, that negativity that's in your brain holding you back. We are our own worst enemy, and we need to release that and realize it's okay to do well when you're doing well for others. All right. And if you can help other people succeed, you have the opportunity to succeed, and that gives you more opportunity to give back. And so there's this guilt, right? There's this, I'm never going to have enough money, the scarcity mindset. But then what happens is we start having some success and we feel guilty that we're successful. We're afraid we're going to lose it. And it's like, get rid of the guilt and say, okay, I've achieved something because I'm serving others, and I'm getting paid for it. And that's okay. The more people I serve, the more I will get paid. And the more wealth you have, the more you can give back and help others. And so understanding that abundance mindset means, there's not a finite amount of money. There's an abundance. There's a total amount of money that you can have. But the issue is not the money, but the impact. So the greater impact you have, the more money you will receive, and the more you can do for others.
And your book Exit Rich, obviously timely in what is going on. It's right there, and available everywhere, by the way. But I was really wondering, I think there's one thing that people don't think of when we're talking about exiting, and that's the primary values that we have. There's a fear of exiting. And I've been blessed to be in a few, but there's this fear of, what do I do now? But also, how do I equate that with my own values and my family, my personal values, and also health? It's really interesting when I see in the aspect of exits where health diminishes or increases, determinative upon that same mindset of the exit and strategy of the exit. What are some of the things that you talk about in the book that are related to our personal values that most people don't think about when they're, in the process or strategy of exiting?
Well, everyone that has a business is an extension of who you are. And what you want to do is build it so that it can live on and it can become an economic engine for you. And it's a reflection of you. And so, yes, your personal values, if you talk about business being generous, adding value, and you build a business that is not, then it's incongruent. And in this world, there's a lot of transparency in the world. So it's important. And in the book Exit Rich, it's not just about exiting. So many businesses are struggling right now. I want to help them understand how to build that value based on the people that they have, or the people that they need, their products, their processes, their business systems. I say assets are sexy, David. It's because most people own a job when they think they own a business, because there's so much working in it, they don't have time to work on it. And I want to show them the pathway to build this business that increases the valuation, so that if they choose to sell it, they can, or create this economic engine that will live beyond them for generational wealth.
Yeah, I thought of a subtitle for your book, which is simply "Don't get so busy working you forget to make money." So many people do, right? uh, Throughout the process of all the books that you've read, all the mentorship that you've given, and you've, empowered so many people, for you, what's the legacy, with all the things that you've done that you'd love to leave? I know we're in this transitional period. I think we're in an expansive blessing right now, although I know people could easily look at this time as challenging and negative. I see a whole different thing, and that's my that's my whole philosophy of finding the light, the love, and the lessons. What light, love, and lessons have you found through this beautiful journey that you're on to help other people? What is it right now in your head of, wow, this is the legacy that I'm going to leave?
Well, David, thank you so much. I mean, when I left Rich Dad in 2007, I thought Rich Dad was my legacy. And somebody upstairs said, oh, no, you're just getting started. And so when I think about it today, when I launched the Play Big movement in the Facebook group, I realized your legacy is created every single day with every heart you touch. And so, people say, well, what's your greatest accomplishment? And my answer is the next one. Because, you and I both live lives of contribution. Growing up, my dad would ask me each night, Sharon, have you added value to someone's life today? And he's been gone for 15 years, but I still ask myself that every single day, because wouldn't the world be a better place if everybody lived in a world of wanting to make a contribution and adding value to other people's lives? And that's why I love you so much, because you walk the talk and you live that philosophy every single day. So your legacy is created every single day, David, with everyone watching this right now. You are touching their hearts, and that's the legacy that I want to create. When I was in Shanghai 10 years ago, I was being interviewed, and a young man stood up and asked a question in Chinese. I had no idea what he was talking about. And so my interpreter, everybody in the room started booing this young man. And I thought, oh my gosh, what's he asking me? And my interpreter said, they just think he's being rude because he asked you, what do you think the meaning of life is? And the room felt that I was the only Western woman in the room. And I said, it's all right, I'll answer the question. The meaning of life is to know when I'm gone, people will have felt that their lives were better for having known me. And, the room broke out in applause and standing ovation. But the issue that I want to share is, we look at these grand scale things. Well, that grand scale is built on little actions. And so what are you doing every single day to create the legacy that you want?
I love that. There's an old saying, my favorite saying, be kind to your future self and do good deeds, right aligned with what you and I both believe. And all of your books are indicative of and empowering for. Where can people find Exit Rich, Sharon Lechter, Family First, everything that you do? Where's the best places that people can reach out for you?
Well, I'm Sharon Lechter everywhere. You can go to SharonLechter.com, or you can email me at info@SharonLechter. But my new book is with Inc. Magazine. It's going to be out in April. But right now you can get an advance copy for everybody on this show by going to exitrichbook.com/buy. I put it in the comments, but I'll try and put that in again. exitrichbook.com/buy, because I wanted to make sure people had it right away. With everything happening in the world, the publisher delayed it, but you can get it from me now, both in an electric copy, and I will send you the actual hard copy at exitrichbook.com/buy. And be my pleasure to support people in building the success that they deserve.
I expect my signed copy for my birthday present. I'll send you one back, but there cannot be a better gift in the world than Sharon Lechter. I barely made this through here without getting too choked up. Last time I cried like a baby. I will tell you, my 10-year-old son's, he signed his long birthday card, which he made himself, by Miles Meltzer, P.S. Please stop crying, Dad. So he knows me well. You bring tears to my
But
eye.
then you
Tears
wouldn't
of
be
joy.
David. You wouldn't
Yeah,
be David.
the
Oh my
big baby
God.
Dave Meltzer with his mentor and hero, Sharon Lechter. Reach out, SharonLechter.com. Get that book early. It's going to be incredible, like all the other ones that you've written. I appreciate you so much. And most importantly, Sharon, if there's anything I can ever do for you, just ask. I know you're so kind to your future self all the time. And let's get on to Clubhouse together. We can be the two older birthday souls
Oh,
building
I
up
tell you,
Clubhouse.
I was on it all morning this morning. Let's
I
do it.
figured
We'll do a room together. We'll
you got it.
shake it up a little bit.
Latest and greatest. Who would ever thought 5 years ago we'd be on Instagram Live? Now we're talking Clubhouse. This is amazing. Thank you.
We'll do the oldies but goodies room. All right.
I love it. The new stages. We are on them together. Thank you so much.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Love you. Take
Love
care.
you.
Bye bye.
Ryan Serhant, my friend. We have to do a Clubhouse together. Another great, kind person. First time I met Ryan Serhant, because he's such a big TV personality and just huge, I was like, oh my gosh, what's this kid going to be like? And man, humble. That's all I got to say. Two things about Ryan Serhant, he's here right now, is one, how humble he was, how knowledgeable he was, and his course. If you haven't taken it, it's the only course that I modeled my training after, because everyone that took it said it's the first time I ever felt like I got more value than like just for he recorded or whatever he does. It's only like $500 or something. But every guy that I know that took it said, Dave, you got to get this course. It's so worth it. So congratulations, Ryan, man. You're amazing. Let's do more stuff together. Obviously, share some stages virtually and in person when this whole mess. Oh, by the way, I need to buy an apartment in the city. So I'll DM you back. Yeah, we'll DM each other. Anyway, I bring you on, but I got another guest waiting in the thing. Jacqueline Snyder, the product boss, co-host of the product boss. Jacqueline, are you here, my dear? Here we go. Let me add in Jacqueline. Here we go. I think it's the product boss. Thank you, Ryan, by the way. I'm going to DM you. Thank you so much. Man, I love that guy. All right. And Sharon Lechter. What a day. Here we go.
Hey, David.
Hi, Jacqueline. How are you?
Good. Good morning. Good afternoon, wherever you are.
I just have like the glowing people on my IG Live. I got to just tell you, it's like such a treat for me to get a surge of energy for all the great guests that I have. And, you're in good company today when you're talking about Murray and Sharon. Now we're talking, product and what you do, high achieving product based stuff. Give us a little bit of background on, what you're doing and how we can be of service.
Thank you. Thank you for asking. So I am the co-host of the Product Boss podcast, and we help product-based business owners grow and scale their businesses into profitable and revenue-generating businesses. So as you know, you've been in this world for a while, and so much information is service-based. And we knew that there were a whole bunch of business owners out there that were really missing information that was relevant to the kinds of businesses that they were growing, which was physical products. What do I do with all the, the goods? There's cost of goods, raw goods, shipping, inventory, all the things that as service-based people, we don't have to sit on. And so for the last 3 years, we really helped support them build businesses and create, multi-generational wealth, and really help them shift of the mindset from being a maker and a hobbyist to then realizing that with their talent and their know-how and being scrappy and creative, they can build businesses that really build the lives that they're hoping and dreaming of.
And what are, the challenges of the product side, and I've worked with so many small businesses like you, that the accelerated change, it's literally, you could, create your business. By the time you get your molds, your form factors, the world has changed so much, not only in the supply side, but then in the marketing side, and then on the distribution side, then on the last mile part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at it as an advisor, as a counselor, as, supposedly someone that could help. And I'm looking at the change going, how can I give the best advice with all of the change? And the only thing that I've come up with so far is to look at what we do have control of. What advice do you give, considering the accelerated change that we've had in all aspect of product sales, which I think have been, changed the most, even more than just plain, retail food services. Products have changed throughout the last 10 years, like in a ridiculous amount. What are some of the things that you're advising to the small business owner that are involved in products?
Well, one of the biggest things, especially with all that change, is we often say go deep and not wide. So a lot of times people, when they start a business or they're growing their business, they think that they need to make more. They need to make more things, right? They think across categories and, you know, think if I'm making handbags, I need to make jewelry and I need to make apparel, for example. And it's not the case. I use this example this week. We have a challenge going called Bestseller Secrets Challenge, because we really want people to identify. We said, identify your Justin Timberlake or your Beyonce or your Mick Jagger, right? Like, well, who's the front man? Because it's that 80-20 principle. 80% of your revenue is going to come from 20% of your products. So I think, yes, there's the innovation. It's staying really on point with what your customers' needs are. They vote with their dollars. So if they're buying something, don't get bored and move on to something else. Like I was talking about Juicy Couture and the Juicy Couture tracksuits from, you know, the late 90s.
Yeah, super hot now, right?
Yeah, but they were over it then. They did not want to come out with another same like terry cloth jumpsuit, but they did. And then at that point, they sold their business for $200 million, which was a lot at the time to be, you know, acquired. So I think as creatives, oftentimes we want to move on. We feel like, oh, this is done. People have seen it. And we really want them to lean into what's working. And then also reconnect with the customer. So much of this is about the relationship with your customer, especially in 2020. I mean, last year was a year that if big businesses didn't step up and lean into the customer, airlines, for example, they got rid of change fees, thank goodness. But they were going to lose business, and they finally had to come back to us and be like, what do you guys need? Not, you know, you're lucky to be flying on our flight and give us all your money when you decide that you need to cancel a flight. So I think leaning into your customer as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Richard Jaffe, he was the CEO of SafeSkin. I think they exited for 600 or 700 million, and he's an owner in the Phoenix Suns, but a mentor and a friend of mine. And he's probably the best expert of truly leaning into his customer. Like, he was only concerned, and I think Apple's another great example of understanding not only the value, but the emotional aspect. How important is it on the product side to connect and have that emotional attachment? And how can we envelop that emotional attachment with the more virtual nature of business without touching and feeling an item, and that excitement of, you know, sitting there right before we check out, or other things that products have used? How can we emotionally attach virtually and lean into the consumer?
Such a great question. This is something that we really had to transition and lead with and coach on last year. When 2020, when the pandemic hit, so many small business owners were doing in-person shows, and they were used to that. Or retail shops, for example, people were used to shopping in a store. There were definitely some of us that were shopping online, but, you know, not our grandmas, for example. You know, now my grandma's an Instacart expert. So as you're thinking about, you know, showing up online, I think one of the things exactly what you said is that customer service. We last year asked people to reconnect locally with their people, for them to say, I'll do drop-offs. You could do porch pickup. This is before you could do curbside pickup, when the big stores started doing it. Funny enough, Party City was one of the first. You wouldn't think of them as forward thinking. They were one of the very first people or large businesses that I saw that did curbside pickup when the pandemic hit. They were like, you want balloons? We'll blow up the balloons and bring them out to your car. It was the craziest thing. But also, as you're going online and you asked about the brand, it's about the story. It's always about the story. It's about how you connect emotionally and meet their needs. So a lot of times, you know, candles we use, for example, that there's so many candle companies. Why this candle company and not the other? It's the story that's built around it. How do you make them feel? What do they feel like when they get it? And I think right now the hero is the small business. So we're asking our product-based business owners to actually, they're introverts and they hate me for saying this, but I want them to show up on video. I want them to talk about their product, and I want them to connect with it and say, you know, I'm a small business from Iowa. This is what we make as a family. Watch me ship it to your door. And people, the heroes of small business, and people more than ever right now want to support small businesses. So I also think it's that story, and video is really probably the most impactful way.
Yeah, although we were just talking about Clubhouse, right? And I love
Oh
the
my
fact
God.
that things are
Last
going back
night,
to audio as well, right?
I hosted a room last night for 6 hours. You
Oh
started
my
mentioning it. It was on
gosh.
influencers, and I was doing it with Perez Hilton, about maintaining your influence. And since he's been around for so long, Lewis Howes showed up in the room. Tony Robbins showed up in the room.
Wow.
I was just like, this is the craziest thing. And I was hosting. So, and I couldn't get off because every, you know, Clubhouse is so organic that all of a sudden someone else amazing shows up. So Clubhouse is something special.
Yeah, it is. And I love that it's audio because I have a face for radio and there's so much video out there. I cringe at it, even with my new TV show. But now you have a podcast, you have your consulting. Where can people find you? I know it's at The Product Boss, right? Is your
Yeah.
Instagram handle. Where else can they find you?
So anywhere that you listen to a podcast, we're the Product Boss podcast. We're at we're at the Product Boss on Instagram, and our website is the Product Boss. I also wanted to just mention our Shop 1 in 5 pledge. So that's something that we created at the end of last year, where it was coming upon the holidays and people needed to shift online, and we were really pushing for small businesses. So for all of us to shop from a small business. And so we created the Shop 1 in 5 pledge, which is asking everyone to commit to make 1 in 5 of their purchases from a small business, online or offline. It could be a consultant, it could be your local coffee shop, it could be a product-based business, but making that decision as you're shopping that maybe you'll pass up Starbucks and you'll go to the small coffee shop. Or if you drink at Starbucks, maybe you'll go to the local bookstore, right? So that's also at Shop 1 in 5 or www.shop1in5. And we're asking you all to take that pledge. And we also have a directory there. So if you do want to shop from small businesses, we have 600 different small businesses listed in there as well.
That is amazing. You're amazing. Let me know next time you have a Clubhouse. I want to join those type of people there, especially how incredible is that. I'm doing one tonight with Matt Higgins, so join me there 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern if you want. I can't go 6 hours, I'll fall asleep. I'm old.
I don't know that I'll ever do that again, but it was an incredible night. So
if Tony Robbins, Hilton Perez, and Lewis show up,
yeah,
I there's no reason not to. I'm afraid what's going to happen. This is my first one I'm hosting. I've been a guest on a lot of them with amazing Damon John and just killer people.
Yeah.
But I'm a little bit nervous if yours lasted 6 hours. Goodness, I hope mine lasts 60 minutes.
I think it's the moderation part of it, right? So it's like bringing them up and helping people move through their questions, because then you just let everyone speak. It's something else. So
you're amazing. Well, thank you so much. Let's do more together. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Jacqueline Snyder, the incredible Jacqueline Snyder. Thank you. The Product Boss. Check it out. So important today. I think, this might be in the Hall of Fame IG Lives with Murray, Sharon, and Jacqueline, and then Ryan showing up. Check me out tonight on Clubhouse, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Matt Higgins and I will be hosting a room. Let's answer some questions. We're going to start integrating a lot more with Clubhouse. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. You're incredible. Trainings on Friday, abundant negotiation. It'll be on Clubhouse, IG Live, Facebook Live, etc. It's free. It'll be replayed. The Playbook is my podcast. Share it, download it, like it. It's on and featured playlist on Spotify. The Playbook, also on Entrepreneur. It's featured there at every platform. You guys know where to find me. You can email me for exercise guides, books, and trainings for free. David@dmeltzer.com. You could text my community. It's been there the whole time. 949-298-2905. Jackie, Bonnie, all of my private coaching people, thank you as well for always joining us. Join us. I will take one quick question as I leave. I can't help myself. How can you stay focused when progress is taking a long time? Because you need to detach your emotions from the outcome and attach the enjoyment to the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. You need to blend persistence with patience by having an outcome, knowing that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You're angling with everything you have every day, angling to what you want, but have faith you're going to end up somewhere better. Detaching that emotion from the exact outcome, putting that emotion into faith, into effort, so that you can achieve more than you dream of, to create minimums in your life that you will far exceed. That's what it's about. What a great question to end with. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Join me on my text community, 949-298-2905. Join me in my first Clubhouse hosted with Matt Higgins tonight, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And most importantly, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. Or tonight at 5 p.m. Thanks.